Kentucky, October 8th, 2025, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How's it going out there? It was cool enough I was able to jog to the store and back today, to the grocery store and back today. Get back into my jogging routine. It is officially fall here. We got Sticker granddaughter here. Gonna look at the messages.
Mr. Beatles Pro said, oh my god, an ad. Mr. Beatles Pro said, beep, 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 yay.
Beep, 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 yeah?
Yep.
All right. How you doing there, Tom? Two weeks. We're gonna do every little Beatles episode number 14 with Mikey Arugula and special guest Beatles, Tom Beatles Pro.
Polly said,
am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's Mr. Beatles Pro.
Mr. Beatles Pro, Tom.
A Little Beatles Corner said, hi Frank.
How you doing, Patricia?
Polly said, good evening, Stickermania.
How you doing, Polly? Is that the P-O-L-L-Y? I get them mixed up.
P-O-L-L-Y.
Well, there's Polly t-shirt too.
Well,
Well,
we'll say
t-shirt,
t-shirt
yeah.
and you say
Well,
Polly.
I was about to
but
say t-shirt.
The
T-shirt.
what?
Nothing.
T-shirt said, good evening, everyone. Who's going to win a t-shirt or sweat tonight?
Sweatshirt. You better show we're going to have a trivia question. You got to come over here.
Gosh.
Sticker granddaughter's got the sweatshirt on. We got a medium, a large, and an extra large. Stamp out the Beatles. 3 trivia questions to win that sweatshirt. That we got from T-Shirt Express from Polly in Staten Island, New York. That's his website, his card.
Thomas Crooks said, hello.
How you doing, Thomas Crook?
Jeff Cooley said, howdy, Frank.
Hi, Jeff.
Mr. Beatles Pro said it's still in the 80s here.
In the 80s, boy, it's not here anymore.
It's going to be 40 tomorrow.
Hmm.
Uncle Paul, Beatle Pop Playhouse said, hello, everyone from the Playhouse.
From the Playhouse, Uncle Paul is here. Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse.
Yay, my best friend.
Subscribe to him. He's got some good videos and he's got some funny ones too. Check him out.
Vinyl Piper said, good evening, ...
Vinyl Piper. I don't know if we've had you here before or not.
Welcome back.
What's your name, Vinyl Piper? Is it Chris? That's my guess. I might be wrong.
Oh, Chris is.
Okay, got a lot of notes tonight. Monday, I went with Kevin from Kevin Records here in Louisville. We went to Bloomington, Indiana, and I helped evaluate a curated over 2,000 vinyl, a lot of audiophile pressing that EDS Fine Estate Auctions is going to auction off in late October or early November. If you can believe this, they have 3 Led Zeppelin 2 RLSS Monarch pressings, all in very good plus to excellent condition that I found in the curated collection that they will be auctioning off, I guess, one at a time, 3 of them. I got to win one of those. They also had a Led Zeppelin 4 First Press UK 1971 that was Porky Pecco Duck in the dead wax and the matrices were A3, B3. And I noticed one a few months ago on eBay sold for over, thought it was like $3,000. The best pressing ever of a Led Zeppelin 4. I don't have a Led Zeppelin 4 here right now. I had one of those 1971 Porky Pecco Duck before, but this one was beautiful condition when I graded it. They had all the Led Zeppelin 2014 deluxe box sets. Most of them were all sealed. They had the classic records, 45 RPM of the 4 LP set, single box sets of Led Zeppelin 1, Led Zeppelin 2, and Led Zeppelin 4, and they were factory sealed. They had a Led Zeppelin House of the Holy classic records from the early 2000s that was sealed. And they had, in the Beatles, they had a 2014 mono box set. They had a 1978 BC 13 box set. And they had a 1977 France contract pressed in Germany of Magical Mystery Tour with the True Stereo -1, -3. One of the best pressings ever in the world. I don't have one right now. It went out in the mail. And they had a 1973 pressing of Dub Beatles, DIE Beatles from Germany, -2, -2 matrices, the best stereo pressing ever. Please, Please Me. They had all the Radiohead first press LPs that I told them would go for a lot of money. And they had multiple Grateful Dead box sets. A lot of them were live recordings. There must have been 20 Grateful Dead box sets. They also have a lot of stereo audiophile equipment. The person they got this record collection from had they got his audiophile equipment, and there was a Marantz, a big Marantz receiver. There was a Macintosh like the one I have. I have a 5100 preamp amp Macintosh from 1972, and they had a Yamaha natural sound receiver. So there was a lot of audiophile turntables also. So check out edsauctions.com for it'll be posted in a couple weeks, the auction.
Final Piper said yes, sir. I assume you saying is he Chris?
He's Chris, yeah.
And then Dr. Rick said, hey, Mr. Stickermania and Sticker Teens, great to see you. Great to see you there, Rick. Sometimes I see you or message me, I think, on Rachel's Ghost and PB Thal's video channels. Some other news that just happened, Andy Nichols and Joe Mayo both went to the Power to the People. I don't have a Power to the People box set. This is my sealed Give Me Shelter box set. Not Give Me Shelter, how about Give Me Some Truth? Mixing up the titles there. And that's coming out in 2 days. So they had a premiere listening event in New York City where only 100 people were invited. And Andy Nichols and Joe Mayo were invited. They saw Robert S. was there that was in our video in New Jersey. Tom Frangione from the Beatles channel was there. Rob Leonard, which we met at the Beatle Fest in Chicago, he was there. And Mark Lapidus was also there, the founder of Fest for Beatle Fans. They're going to have one of those listening events in LA tomorrow night, and Mazzy is going to that. But the one in New York City, Bob Gruen was there, and Sean Lennon was there with his girlfriend. And for a half hour, he talked to anybody that wanted to talk to him. So that was pretty cool. So that was a big event. It was all done in Dolby Atmos surround sound in a little theater in New York City. So way to go, Andy Nichols and Joe Mayo. You got invited to your first big Beatles listening event. Any questions? Me and Mikey Rugler, our big thing is in 4 weeks from tomorrow. We will be in New Jersey, Ashbury Park, New Jersey for the EF4 Fest that celebrates the 60th anniversary of Rubber Soul. Where me and Mikey are going to be in the Crystal Court is what it says on the schedule. And we'll be setting up a curated, Mike will bring some of his collection, and I'll be bringing butcher covers and a lot of Rubber Souls. There's my Rubber Soul 1974 floor mat.
That's my.
Dave Evans said, "Good evening, Frank and Sticker family. How's it going today?"
All right, good, Dave Evans. How are you doing, David? So this is my Rubber Soul early 1966 mono from the United Kingdom on a gold and black Parlophone label. That's the original inner sleeve, the way the Beatle albums came out in the United Kingdom in the mid-60s. It's in a polyline Imatec inner sleeve. Rubber Soul.
Mr. Beatles Pro said, "I thought the cartel bought the Rubber Soul rug."
What?
They were going to, but they never paid me for it. Somebody else is on the list that is getting it. My retired DJ from the East Coast. So there's a picture of Rubber Soul when they were producing in early December in England, and they were producing it 24 hours a day because they had to be out in a matter of like 2 days. And a lot of these pressings had a loud cut and they were defective, and they had to keep mastering it to try to get it right. And it took like a month before they had Hazel Yardwood do the -5 true mono pressing. They'll be talking all about that at the Everything Fab4Fest.com. Bruce Spicer is going to be a guest there at the Everything Fab4 Fest, and that's one of his early books, The Beatles Are Coming. It's probably the first Bruce Spicer book that I ever had.
Me too.
I think it's from about 2004.
What's your favorite part?
The part where they read me the book.
So I'm about a third of the way through this Mal Evans book, written by Dr. Kenneth Womack, and he's the man in charge for the Everything Fab4 Fest that's coming up a month away in Ashbury Park, New Jersey. I'm up to the part where the Beatles are finally done touring, and they've had it with touring completely. The last tour of the United States, that's where I'm at, right here from 1966.
Mr. Beatles Pro said, "I think that was his third book."
I didn't say it was his first book.
It was the first
Oh,
book.
you mean Bruce
You're right.
Spicer's? Yeah, Bruce Spicer. I didn't have his first two books at the time. You're right. The first book he did was the Beatles on VJ Records, and then he did the 2-volume The Beatles on Capitol Records, and that was probably, you're right, that was probably the third, fourth book that Bruce Spicer did. But it's the first one that I own. The Beatles on VJ Records and the Beatles on Capitol Records are both quite valuable. When I was showing inner sleeves the other time for Meet the Beatles, somebody corrected me that the early Meet the Beatles came in a royal blue inner sleeve that I didn't have at the time, but I got one here now. That's the first pressing of the Meet the Beatles, was in that royal blue inner sleeve, and then within a month or so they came out in the light blue inner sleeve. Is that correct there, Mr. Beatles Pro? You want to put that under the table over there, please?
Yes.
Be careful.
Sorry.
So the Power to the People box set is coming officially out and on Friday, and it has most of the tracks from Sometime in New York City. This is my Germany pressing of Sometime in New York City. How many people can we? I'll do a few more notes before we do the trivia quiz.
Mr. Beatles Pro said, "Yep, you are correct."
All right, I got something right. Way to go! When Tom Beatles Pro said you did it right, he knows he's going to help our live stream for me and Mikey Arugula on October 22nd. That's the correct date, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every Little Thing Beatles episode number 14.
Do a Halloween live stream.
So some other things are going on in the music world on the Billboard album charts. In the United Kingdom, number 1 is Olivia Dean with the album The Art of Loving. And number 2, Uncle Paul's favorite, Sabrina Carpenter's number 2 with Man's Best Friend. And if you can believe this, number 4 is Robert Plant. Is number 4 on the UK charts with his Saving Grace with Susie Dean. Robert Plant is on number 4 on the UK charts. In the US, on the album charts, K-pop Demon Hunters is number 1. And they're also number 1 on the single charts with Golden. And if I can say this, Tit for Tat is number 3 on the charts, single charts with Tate McRae. And Chapel Roan is number 20 with Pink Pony Club. But she's number 9 on the Spotify charts with Subway. I just got this in. There's a COA. Chapel Roan, her old autograph with her posing from the Subway video that was done in New York City.
What is the cost of those inner sleeves?
I have those inner sleeves up on eBay, including the goldenrod inner sleeve. I think they're up there for $40.
That's rare.
So the number 1 Spotify song, you guys know how to know what it is. I watched the video of it today. They must have spent millions of dollars on that video. The Fate of Ophelia by Taylor Swift. Paul McCartney was in Albuquerque, New Mexico last night and performed. And I watched the last 22 minutes was on YouTube, where he starts off with, I'm not going to come up with it now. It's Helter Skelter he goes into, but I can't remember what song he starts on the long encore. But it was pretty good. But he is very struggling a lot on Maybe I'm Amazed. I don't even know why he does that song anymore. He has a hard time singing Maybe I'm Amazed. The Chapel Roan is going to be in Denver on October 11th. That would be, no, the 10th and 11th. Let's get this right. Paul McCartney is going to be in Denver at Coors Field on October 11th. And Chapel Roan is going to be out in California at Pasadena, the Rose Bowl. They have a smaller stadium that's close to the Rose Bowl where she's going to perform October 10th and 11th.
So that's Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday, where Paul McCartney's is on Saturday night in Denver. But Chapel's doing 2 nights in a row. Chapel brings in about as many people to a show as Paul McCartney, but she does it with 2 shows where Paul does, Paul can only sing like every couple times a week. And what else is going on? Rob Frith. I talked about the story of Rob Frith from Neptune Records Store in Vancouver. He did a long 20-minute interview on a channel that has Beatle news on it the other day, and I'm not coming up with his name right now. But he personally handed the deck of tapes, the original master tapes, to Paul McCartney out there in L.A. at a special rehearsal space that was outside of Hollywood. He tells the whole story, how Paul's lawyer got a hold of Rob, and he flew his family of 4 out to L.A., and that they met at the rehearsal space, and they had lunch on a couch in the middle of the rehearsal studio. And then he talked to Paul for 40 minutes, and Paul McCartney signed photos from the Beatles, from the original negatives when the Beatles performed in Vancouver in 1964. And he also signed a Sgt. Pepper and a Revolver album for Rob and his son Ben. But they both wanted the album signed to Ben, to Rob. I would have never had them scribed to a certain person, but they said that they would never resell them, so that's the way Paul signed them, to Rob and to Ben. But it's a really good story how Rob's pretty, he's sure not full of himself. He's kind of a shy guy, but boy, he sure got a hold of a major thing that was worth a lot of money. But that was cool that he handed them over to Paul McCartney, and Paul spent so much time with him.
Dom233 said, I saw Paul last night for the first time ever. I cried. It was incredible.
Don did? Dom?
Dom, yeah.
D-O-M?
Yeah.
All right.
And a little bit of Corner said he does.
I'm sure if I saw him in concert, it'd be a lot different than you two. I'm sure I would cry too. I cried when, I hate to say this, but I was pretty excited when Chapel did Pink Pony Club at the end of the show at Franklin, Tennessee last year.
A little bit of Corner said he does that song for Linda.
Which song?
The one you said he shouldn't do no more.
Oh, Maybe I'm Amazed. He struggles on that song.
Who's Linda?
All right, I think we're ready for our trivia questions.
Said who?
And we're gonna give me another one of those sweatshirts.
Well, he grabbed it.
I have a medium, a large, and extra large that Polly from T-Shirt Express made for me to give away in a contest. 3 questions concerning Rubber Soul, since that's what the everything fab4fest.com is concentrating on, is Rubber Soul. Here we go. Question 1. Who was the recording engineer for the album Rubber Soul at Abbey Road Studios? What was the name of the recording engineer? What 7-inch single was recorded at the same time as Rubber Soul but wasn't included on the Rubber Soul album? What 7-inch single was recorded at the same time the Rubber Soul was being recorded in October, November of 1965? And number 3, I'm Looking Through You has a false start on a U.S. pressing. It's a double false start. Is it on the stereo or the mono pressing of Rubber Soul in the United States? Stereo or mono? Those are 3 questions to win a medium, large, or extra large.
So, Daniel Castillo, Norman Smith, Dave Tripper,
He can see.
Let me see. Daniel's the first one.
Yep.
Daniel wins.
What the heck? That was so fast.
That was good. I didn't make them difficult
Yeah,
enough, I guess.
Clock Radio didn't have it right. Mr. Beatlesboro didn't have it right. John H. had the middle one wrong, and then Greg had it wrong. So, everyone else had it wrong anyways.
Looks like one other person had it right. The recording engineer on the album, on the Beatles album Rubber Soul, was the last album he was the recording engineer, before he got promoted to another position at Abbey Road. It was Norman Smith. The single that was recorded and not released on the album was Day Tripper and We Can Work It Out.
Okay, yeah, John H. says We Can Work It Out.
Number 3, I'm Looking Through You, had the double false start on only the stereo pressing in the United States.
Daniel,
way to go, Daniel.
Hey, I was talking. Daniel said, really, I'm shocked. Thanks.
Does he want a medium, a large, or an extra large?
Or a small.
We don't have a small.
Well,
No small.
guess you don't want a small then.
All right, put that back over there, please.
What the heck? Got it.
So that's my Rubber Soul. I showed it in my Russian pressing from 1991.
He wants the medium, so that one's his.
All right.
We got you.
We got you. Medium. We'll send that out to you tomorrow. I got your address. So we're talking about Rob Frith.
Danny Goldstein said just joined.
So which Daniel won that gold sign?
No, because
Castillo.
Castillo won. Danny just
the
came
man
out.
from Texas.
yeah, I didn't want to give that away, but yeah.
Texas is a big state. Big state. All right, we're talking about the Decca tapes that Rob Frith had the master tapes for, 15 songs. There's 10 of them on this, probably an underground Beatles album that came out in, it says from Audio Fidelity. Came out in the, would be the late 70s. Three Cool Cats, Crying, Waiting, Hoping, Besame Mucho, Searching Chic of Araby, Money. That's the song that they play on the interview. The first time he discovered the tape, the first song they played was Money. Take Good Care of My Baby, Memphis Sure to Fall, Till There Was You, and September in the Rain. The first person that he didn't have the master tapes, but he had good tapes of them, and he released Decacon singles, was Joe Pope. And those are flexi discs that he put out at Christmas time when he belonged to Strawberry Fields magazine. I belonged to that in the late 70s, a fan size. This is issue number 32, and this is issue number 36. So Joe Pope, rest in peace. He's one of the first men to ever put on Beatle conventions in Boston. And he put out the Beatles' fanzine, Strawberry Fields Forever. They announced that they're going to do the IMAX, a new version or a real remastered IMAX version of the Rolling Stones at the IMAX. They got a clip of like 3 minutes on YouTube. It's pretty amazing from the 1989 Steel Wheels tour. This album is sealed.
So Brad Parnell said those look like the records they used to have with the fun meals at the burger chef, talking about the flimsy or the flippy did whatever. And then Joe Pope was the best, is what T-Shirt Express said.
Yep, I met Joe Pope a few times. All right, where are we at? This is how they released Apple Records. This is one of the first Apple Records ever made because it's 1001 of Cold Turkey. Well, this would have been after Hey Jude, but when they started numbering Apple in the United Kingdom, this was the first number, 1001. It says play loud on the Cold Turkey, but it also says play loud on the B-side of Yoko Ono's song, Don't Worry, Yoko. See, that's how they looked in England in 1969, Apple Records. And that's not an Apple sleeve. That's not the original company sleeve. Free as a bird.
Oh, go ahead.
Free as a Bird. They're going to be releasing the anthology here in about the same time we do the interview with Mikey Arugula, and we have a special guest with Beatles Tom, Mr. Beatles Pro Tom. And here is a original promo of Free as a Bird from 1995. And then I got this in today. This is the 30th anniversary of the Beatles on Ed Sullivan from February 9th, taken from the original negative. 30th anniversary, it's a limited print. They must have made a lot of them though. They made 2,500 of them. That's a cool picture of the Beatles rehearsing to be on Ed Sullivan for the first time with Ed and his, I think that's his director. I think it was his son-in-law. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Beatles Tom, Beatles Pro.
Uncle Paul said the anthology doesn't come out till the end of November.
All right, so I'm wrong there. Way to go, Uncle Paul.
Everybody give a like, please. We're done with Wakanda.
Got a few things. I got this weird, Mikey Arugula would probably like this. They took an original trunk cover and they pasted over, they must have made this with a computer, where the butcher cover and the trunk cover, you can see them both on that slit. But this is the original trunk cover that they pasted this computer slick on. But I got this on eBay for $60. They had two different versions. I thought this was the coolest one because you can see the butcher cover underneath the trunk cover. Mikey Arugula likes strange things like that.
Great sweatshirt.
Yeah, he ordered one. He said off of T-Shirt Express.
So that's the original Matchbox matchbook that was in the Beatles suite in 1964 at the Madison Hotel that I couldn't find in the last live stream. We got a 2015
Yeah, I don't know about it.
lava lamp here of Sgt. Pepper that we found at a estate sale a couple months ago.
Tell him to give it to me.
Butcher covers. I'll be taking my butcher covers to New Jersey. I got 2 second states and 2 third states here.
Do you have a one state?
My first state I locked up in the vault.
Gosh.
I'll bring it with me to New Jersey. It's not going to be locked up for a month.
What'd you say?
So this are the second states. That's the one with the $1.97 price tag on it. That's the East Coast. And this is the West Coast second state. That somebody, you can see the butcher a little bit there on the corner with the strong glue from LA. And this is the third state. Got the East Coast, and you got the West Coast with the beautiful peel and the beautiful natural colors. These are the real deal, where this is a, at least it wasn't a real one.
I don't even know what you did.
Where this is a fake. Tell the big difference between the two.
What else are you bringing to New Jersey? He's bringing me. That's what else.
We were thinking of bringing that Shea Stadium big photo, but we won't have room for that.
What'd you say?
So we'll have to show that in the when we do Every Little Thing Beatles episode number 14 with Mikey Rugula and Mr. Beatles Pro Tom. I will bring out the Shea Stadium photo for that episode.
Brad Parnell said, "Why is the West Coast glue stronger?"
Because the East Coast was water-based and the West Coast had an alcohol base. And over time, you can steam peel the one with the water base, but you cannot steam peel the West Coast with the alcohol base. Big difference in glue.
Frank, the contest Paul and Ringo Remco dolls arrived. Thank you.
That's Gregor Field.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Is fourth state a thing?
Do what?
Is fourth state a thing?
I don't know what you're asking.
Fourth state.
Yeah, like third state.
I have a fourth state.
What the heck?
A fourth state, but I didn't. Oh, I got it over here. I'll show you what a fourth state is.
Why you cause problems? Good.
I didn't. I'm giving him more to show.
Fourth state. This is a fourth state with no butcher underneath it, and I'll show you the difference of a second state and a fourth state. They've been trimmed 3/16 of an inch. The second state was trimmed so the Capitol Records, the factories could tell which one had butchers underneath them and which ones didn't.
They all look the same but different colors.
You asked for a fourth state, so I had to go show them.
See what Paul is saying.
T-Shirt Express, a different glue machine. The one that they use on the West Coast is called hot melt glue. The glue pellets are melted and applied to the back of the slicks.
That's why it's so hard to get off. That makes sense.
There are people that can get them off. It takes them about a month, where I can do an East Coast in a matter of hours, so I'll stick with the East Coast.
Do you have a
I've tried the West Coast several times. They're very, very difficult.
Do you have a fit
No,
state?
there's no such thing. That's it. We're done.
He probably has one. He's
What
gonna pull it
are we
out.
talking about?
Now she's asking for a fifth state.
There's
She didn't
no
think there was a
such
fourth
thing.
state. She was just being dumb.
There is no such thing
You're
as a
dumb.
fourth state. All right, let me carry on here. You're trying to stop the stream, dear.
Bro, what? I'm asking you about butcher covers. Isn't that what the live's for?
Paul McCartney in concert. That's the one I saw in 1976, Wings Over America at the Chicago Stadium. That is the program. And I saw him in 1990. That's the tour program for 1990. And one of the band members is still with him. There's a good photo of the whole band here, if I can find it.
Greg Field said vodka, alcohol, and patience. 8 hours.
You got more patience than I do. I saw one of the West. You have a difficult time on West Coast. Be honest about it. Let's be honest.
Do the bread.
Brad Parnell said, I saw some British music store this week is giving away each of the Beatles' original LPs plus the Magical Mystery Tour EP, all mono.
And mono? Is that what he said?
Yep.
I don't know why it doesn't have the picture of. I'll show you the one.
John said Wick's still with them.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to show, the Wicks picture. I thought there was a group. Here it is. So Wicks is still in the band today. All those years later, that'd be 35 years later. And this man here is in the Ringo Starr All-Star Band, and I'm not coming up with his name. He was in the Average White Band. Give me some help, guys. What is his name?
Ringo.
Doesn't say on the program.
Wicks.
Not Wicks.
Oh.
Hamish, Stewart.
Yeah, Hamish Stewart, all right.
Brad Parnell.
Brad Parnell, you got know a lot of the facts. All right, there we are. Hamish Stewart is still 35 years later. He is touring with Ringo Starr. All right, we talked about Butchers. We talked about Rubber Soul.
We promoted that.
We didn't bring up Mikey's favorite album, Beatles for Sale. That is a tube cut military export of Beatles for Sale. And Dave Evans can tell you that the military exports, they all seem to be audiophile pressings.
Shit.
He got my Hey Jude. He's real happy with that one. And the two people that bought my Rubber Soul military export and Revolver, they're real happy with those too. Well, the Revolver was a Germany 1977 pressing. I have a whole box set from Germany from 1977 coming in a BC-13s with the audiophile pressings with the 7.2 prefix coming in here in the next couple of days.
Danny Goldstein, well, Brad Parnell saw him at Rupp in 1990 and in Cincinnati in 1992. Danny Goldstein said Mr. Moonlight.
Mr. Moonlight. Do you like Mr. Moonlight?
Greg Field said, you know it don't come off easy. Ringo, Mr. Moonlight. Dave Evans said
talking
they're
about the
amazing.
Butcher, though. You didn't let that. He was saying it don't come off easy, and then
About
he's
the Butcher.
throwing in the Ringo statement, but he's talking about the Butcher.
Gotcha.
Brad Parnell said, we're going to get Mikey to like Mr. Moonlight if it's the last thing we do. Danny Goldstein said, I love my yesterday and today military export.
Who said that?
Danny Goldstein.
No. Yeah, those military exports, which one is he him?
I don't know. He said yesterday and today.
That's the album.
What's a military export then?
They didn't make a military exporter yesterday and today that I know of. Revolver 2014 mono. This is sealed. The one that came out in 2022 in the box set that Uncle Paul bought one is supposed to be a little better pressing audiophile than this one here. Andrew Milton from Polygram Auctions ranks the 2022 mono, which is a recut in the box set, as the best mono pressing of all time of the Beatles Revolver. But that stereo military export that I had from 77 from Germany is the best stereo pressing.
Uncle Paul said my Revolver arrived, by the way, Frank. And Mikey said Mikey just arrived.
Mikey is in the house. Mikey, you missed Mr. Moonlight. They were all in the chat. They were all good, said that they're going to get you to like that song. All right, we better promote while Mikey's here. Mikey, Arugula, and Mr. STICKERMANIA were on the website as on the schedule for everything Fab Four Fest coming up on November 6th to the 8th at Ashbury Park, New Jersey. And we are in the Crystal Court area where we're going to be setting up. And Mikey, Tom Beatles Pro, he's going to be with us in 2 weeks on Every Little Thing Beatles episode number 14 with Mikey Arugula and special guest Mr. Beatles Pro, Tom. I got it down right now. I don't know if I ever showed these. When Kevin, we went to Tennessee, we went through a big collection that he had. I found these in the 45s. These are sealed 45s from 1964. That's the way they'd sell them. And this is the Marquettes. They had a big song called Out of the Limits. And that's sealed inside this discount package. And this is a Net Funicello Disney Vista pressing that's sealed that was sold in the 3 for $1 bin. So there were cutouts on singles besides albums. But that's amazing. This was an overstock on Out of Limits when it's considered, I thought, one of the top 10 songs of the year.
Elvis Cup Guy said hi, Stickermania.
How you doing, Elvis Cup Guy? Haven't talked to you in a while. Talked about Led Zeppelin. We talked about the EDS Auctions Fine Estate I went on Monday and went through, they brought out boxes of 2,000 albums, which was impossible for me and Kevin to go through in one day. Kevin was there 2 or 3 days, but I just concentrated on the Beatles, the Stones, and the Led Zeppelin. I found a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, and I found a lot of Radiohead first pressings. But I said I found 3 Led Zeppelin 2 RLSS Monarch pressings. It's amazing to find 3 of them in one collection, all in hardly played, excellent condition. I told them that each one of those pressings was probably worth from $1,500 to $2,000. But they will be auctioning them off in a couple weeks at edsauctions.com in Bloomington, Indiana. And I also found a Led Zeppelin 4 first press from 1971 from England that had an A3B3 matrices. It was in excellent condition and had Porky Pecco Duck in the dead wax. If you want to hear it, Led Zeppelin 4 in its prime audiophile pressing, that is the pressing. One of the top 10 sounding albums ever recorded in rock music history. What else do we have? Any other questions before we end this live stream?
Nope.
You know, it did say the Elvis Cup Guy said hi.
Yeah, I said hi to him.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Right.
That's Terry Crane. He was on our last episode Saturday in the chat. That's his book, NIMS and the Business of Selling Beatles Merchandise in the U.S. 1964 to 66. Terry Crane. We've met him at 2 or 3 Beatle Fests. He's not going to be at the one in New Jersey. The Talk More Talk people are going to be there. Bruce Spicer's going to be there. I'm not sure. The Weaklings are going to be there. The Black Ties. Max Weinberg. And it's got a lot of other people listed that are going to be there. Not sure if the Two Legs guys are Joe Mayo. Joe Mayo's not sure if he's going or not. But he probably will. All right, I think that's it from Louisville, Kentucky tonight. The mail's running slow. I haven't been getting too much in. Thanks for Daniel winning the contest on the, you want to show the sweatshirt? Stamp out the Beatles. That Top Polly from T-Shirt Express sent me a few to give away. In Staten Island, New Jersey. You want to get one of those, get a hold of his website. T-Shirt Express, he's on eBay also. Thanks a lot from Louisville, Kentucky, and we will see you on Saturday night. See ya.
See ya.